Hi guys, it's Jazz and Jamie and welcome back to Brand Creations, the pod.
I don't know what you sort of think, because obviously I've had a very different couple of years kind of thing. Without going too much into it, I wonder, I don't like looking at back, even the last couple of years, because I know right now I am the best I've ever been.
I look back at probably 2 years prior is what I enjoy seeing, but even within that there are periods that I don't enjoy looking at because I'm I don't not like who I was at that time, but when I did summer camp last summer and I didn't turn into a horrible person, but I was not myself. I was very shy around my friends, I didn't really speak, and then some things that I did I wasn't necessarily proud of, the actions that I did, so I don't love looking back at that time. But then there are certain days or certain weeks or certain time periods within that time that I do, so I'll look at the bits that I do enjoy looking back on, but sometimes I'm ooh, just no.
Because I think for me, because we talk about it quite a lot, because we'll talk about a day. Because I'm it's such a good day, but actually what she didn't know at the time was I was in one of my lowest points. So for me it was one of my worst days.
Yes. And
literally from 15 to 24 it was literally every day. So everything that, as much as I did some amazing things, I don't enjoy it.
No.
Because I'm I don't want to relive that. Because as much as I had an amazing time with my kids, I had an amazing time with Chloe.
What was going round in this behind the scenes,
So it's and the thing is, the only way now, the way I look at it is the only way I'm gonna continue to get better is going forward.
Yes.
I've never done anything good, and I've never got any form of sort of
clarity,
or return by looking back at what's happened.
But then sometimes I enjoy looking back to see the kind of I don't enjoy looking back at certain periods of my life, but then I'm what did I learn from that kind of thing?
Yeah, but I think it's sort of one of those where I think sometimes I've learned a lot from a lot of mistakes, but I think I don't need to relive them to keep going over it.
Yeah.
I think there's things that sometimes you do, and it's not one of those where I just block it out and it's unhealthy. I've dealt with them.
Yeah.
But it's sort of one of those where I don't enjoy. I don't see the benefit
in reliving it. If you've dealt with it, then there is kind of no point going back.
It's the Lewis Capaldi documentary. I watched that, and I literally said to class, I just can't watch it because it's one of those. There was just way too many similarities for me to be at.
Yeah,
and I just said I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah,
and I really love Lewis Capaldi, and I love hearing his story and stuff like that. But it's one of those, you have to choose what you can allow yourself to look at and think about, and I think. I'd say that's different for everyone, because a lot of people didn't have do you know what I mean? I was just fucking unlucky. But so I don't want to look back.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Even at my kids being born.
Yeah.
Literally, that was my lowest fucking points most of the time. Apart from Lycia.
Yeah.
So I look back at Lycia being born.
Yeah.
But right now, I have no benefit of looking back when Leah was a baby.
No.
I have every benefit of looking at my boy now.
Yes.
Big fucking 2-year-old, and he's an absolute monster, and he's an animal. I want nothing to look at. Baby doesn't... do you know what I mean? Because it's sort of one of those where, there's 3 pictures I've got of Leo, which I literally will look at, occasionally. That's it. All the rest of them, I may as well delete them, because I just don't want to look at them.
Yeah.
You know, and, it's a mad thing, and I think that's the thing as well, with going forward with the future and stuff like that. I think a lot of people chase the bigger moments. I've got to do 6 months, or I've got to do something so huge, kind of thing. Whereas where I'm at, literally just making the kids breakfast in the morning is such a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
Watching Leo grow up is such a huge thing for me, because there was a chance I nearly didn't get that. So now it doesn't make a difference if I go to Africa and ride a fucking elephant, or I have to fly halfway around the world, or do 6 months off with them. Just knowing that my girls, my boy and Chloe is at home waiting for me, more than enough.
Yeah.
And as I say,
you'd be happy if that was the rest of your life.
If I literally died in 40 years, 50 years time, and this was every day from now until then, honestly, I'd be so happy. Yeah, nothing compares it. Going home and watching Bluey with the kids.
Yeah.
Like, there's days, don't get me wrong, where I'm like, fucking hell, like, Bluey is doing my head in or whatever. But those are the times I look back at.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, yesterday, I'll look back at.
Yes.
Past that, I don't, like, it's one of those where it's just, do you know what I mean? Because as I say, it's so much, and like the kids grow, like, as I say, this is the thing, like, watching, like, for example, Leo, say, like, he does something new, or Lexi does something new, or, you know, Lexi wrote her name on the weekend. She's been doing that for a while. That's the first time I saw her write her name on the weekend. That was much more important than me pissing around in Australia for 5 weeks. That doesn't come close.
Yes.
Because that was an amazing experience, but that doesn't come close.
Yes.
Watching her sat in the back of a van, writing her name for the first time, is like one of the most prominent things in my head. And it will be, because I'm like, I remember the first time.
And also I feel like once you have kids, I mean, I don't know, but if you're constantly looking back at what they did do, like their first steps or any like monumental moments like that, then you're missing the monumental moments that are happening in front of you. Yes, it might not be as big as like your first steps, because that's probably a very big deal, but they're still like little wins and little things. It's like, okay, they're growing every day. So if you're constantly looking back at what you used to be, you're then constantly looking at photos of like today you'd be looking at in 6 months when you're looking back. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but it's the same with you. Say, for example, like those times where you sit on your phone and look at the pictures, right? You're spending, say, an hour, 2 hours.
Oh, like a whole night.
Okay, well, a whole night looking at pictures when you could be doing something for yourself to work towards being, not work, but work towards being where you more want to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I did have like an unhealthy obsession with doing it. Now I enjoy doing it like once a month or once a good couple of months, to be like, like, look what I've done in my life. Like, I'm proud of. I also enjoy kind of looking back at how I used to be, because I like the growth that I've now come across. But then again, I can just think about that and be like, oh, look how I was like 2 years ago, and look how, like, I don't necessarily need photos for that. But I do enjoy doing it from time to time, to be like, like, to try and be grateful for what I've done. But it can get, like, I actually was addicted to it every day. Yeah,
I think that's it. But you're trading that time for a short-term gratification. Long-term, you're doing yourself no benefit.
Well, yeah.
And short term is very good, like, as I say, like, we all do things for short term. All of us, like, we'll get a takeaway.
Yes.
That's only, that's for short term benefits. That doesn't, in the morning, you normally fucking wake up, you have a hell of a shit, and you fucking feel like shit for a little bit. Like, everybody does that stuff, and like, you have to balance it, and I think that's great. As I say, it's just, I think there's different levels of what's worth it. Let's say that there are some days where my body's hurting because I'm so tired. I know it isn't worth me having a kebab. All I want is a kebab, but it's worth me having a kebab because it will taste fucking brilliant, but it's gonna fuck me in the morning. Like, and that's the thing. Like, but I'm more like, now with business and with kids and stuff like that, I have to be 3 steps ahead of everyone else. Because otherwise I can't just rock up.
But again, that's your priority, because you will have a kebab 3 times a week, say, but someone whose priority is their health and not necessarily their job, they would never have 3 kebabs in a week. They would have 1 kebab a year or something like that. It's all to do with people's like priorities in life and where they want to see their life.
And this is why people walk around with fucking 6-pack and absolutely huge or muscly or like slim down or like, you know, in fucking good shape, and I connect. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but it's one of those where, to be honest with you, what I look like, as long as I don't look either way really sort of out of it, I'm happy, because what I look like doesn't concern you. Doesn't concern me. As long as I feel good, I feel happy. That's all that matters. Do you know what I mean?
Some people only feel good when they look good.
Yeah, But then the problem is, it's one of those where you look at the long-term damage they do, like a lot of people that do that sort of stuff to their bodies and stuff like that, it's one of those where actually you find long-term they can't keep it up because it is actually the other way for their body, and it's like it's a massive toll on their body. And that's the thing, like
injuries and all that
shit. And they've traded so much time and effort to look like that way.
If they enjoyed it.
Exactly. That's the thing, and as long as they can sit there, I think that's the main thing about all of this. As long as you can sit there, not anyone else.
Yeah,
you can sit there when push comes to shove at the end of it and go, "Do you know what? I did what I wanted to do."
Yes.
I think that's the main thing, you know.
Yeah.
And as I say, but everyone's what I wanted to do is completely different. You know,
everyone's form of success, everyone's form of happiness, everyone's form of rich or whatever is all completely subjective. Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like in this way, you can't make any assumptions on anything because you look like Mark Zuckerberg, fucking billionaire.
Is that the Facebook guy?
Yeah, billionaire, right? He literally wears the same pair of jeans and the same pair of same t-shirt. Like not directly the same one, but like he washes. But like he wears a plain t-shirt and a plain pair of trousers.
Whereas I'm not really wearing the best outfit today, I must say, but I spend quite a lot of money on my clothes because I love it. Same with my hair and my makeup. Like, I mean, it's quite superficial. I get that, but in terms of like clothing, I wear what I want to wear. I don't care if anyone doesn't like it. If I enjoy it, then it makes me feel good. So then I personally have a better outlook on my day ahead if I feel confident in what I'm wearing.
You rolled up in a basic pair of jeans and t-shirt, you ain't gonna feel as ready for the day and stuff like that. But like
my mum said to me this morning, I didn't know what to wear. She said just put that grey. It was a plain grey t-shirt. Nothing against it, but absolutely not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Whereas they're like, but they don't. That's not their priority.
Exactly.
They don't care what they look like because it's like their noggin that people are paying for. Do you know what I mean? And that's all they really need. Like, I say, like Mark Zuckerberg, he barely gets the haircut. Adam Sandler is another great fucking one. He literally walks around and you're like, mate, come on, you know you're getting pictures taken. Like, he just don't give a fuck. He looks homeless in some of the pictures, but he just don't give a fuck. Like, because it's not what he looks like on that day where he's just going for a walk around the block.
And that's not what gives him happiness.
No.
So
if it's his day off, he's going to do exactly what he wants to do. And that's literally what it is. And as I said, it's one of those where he will, at the end of it, go, do you know what, I did what I wanted to do. And I don't really give a fuck, you know? But it's, it's a pretty mad one, actually.
We went in quite deep there.
Yeah, she did. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
From our little bucket list, we never even got onto yours. I also have one last one, which I think you would agree with. I want to see a rocket launch.
No.
Oh.
No, don't know.
That would be so sick.
What, live or on TV?
In person, not on... Yeah. I nearly saw one. We drove... When I was in Florida, we drove... Because they have the NASA thing. And it was meant to take off, and then it got cancelled, all this shit, because it was summer, so it was... I don't know. And we drove all the way there because it was like, okay, it's been put off like 3 times now. Today is the day. We drove all the way there. We got there, and there was so many people around. There was food trucks. We went and got some food, and then everyone started kind of packing up. But we didn't really know why. And then we ordered our food, and the lady was like, "You guys do realise it's just been cancelled?" No, we did not. Thank you, though. And then it went off like a week later, but at night. But I was like, I'm not risking, it's not a risk, but I was like, I can't be asked to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning to it be cancelled, and it was not cancelled, so it was quite annoying. But I was so close.
No, that doesn't really interest me, to be fair.
I would love to watch a rocket launch.
Nah.
I'd love to be in a private jet.
Yeah.
Or like being like not a cockpit, but like, I don't know, like planes really fascinate me. I want to do something in that.
I know.
Be in first class. Like I've got all of mine like superficial things.
Materialistic things.
That's the word.
Yeah. And I'd say it's one of those where, trust me, if I could do it, I'm gonna do it.
Exactly. These aren't things that if I die not going, I mean, but in first class, I wouldn't die an unhappy woman.
No.
But I want to do it in my life.
Yeah, Nah. To be fair, I think the only reason that I would look back on it as if I'm older is I would want to understand why.
Why what?
Like why, say for example, I didn't go on a private jet or something like that. I'd have to understand why. Because it's like, say for example, I grafted like this for the next fucking 20 years, and then for example I'm just still fucking shite. I'll be like, come on, like there must be like, do you know? I evaluate everything and find out where I went wrong, what happened, stuff like that. But again, it's one of those, there would be a reason for it. It wouldn't just be like, oh, I haven't gone on a plane. Like, there would be a reason for it. And as I say, it's not... So, like, that's what I like to do, is break every movement down.
Yeah.
And, like...
I just like to go with the fairy.
Yeah, but the thing is, sometimes that's great. Like, a lot of people do that, and a lot of people... That works for them. But I have to understand every movement that I make and everything that happens, good or bad. I have to understand it.
I think I would send myself into a psychosis or whatever that word is.
I actually think it's the complete opposite.
It calms you down.
Start to understand it. Yeah, I actually start to understand it.
I don't think. Depends what we're talking about here, but I'm too much of an overthinker.
Yeah, because you're not giving yourself the answer. Find the answer.
But sometimes there is no answer.
There is always an answer.
No.
I have barely found a reason that there's a thing that's happened to me that's not been an answer.
No, sometimes I just think there is no answer.
There's always, whether it's directly you or just something that's happening in the world, something around.
No, but I would have to have a reason for me.
No.
I couldn't just be like, oh, it's because of that thing. It would have to be something I would have done, so I...
No, because like, look, we had a fucking hard winter. I turned around. I could have, like, I went through everything I was doing wrong.
Well, yeah, I can say to you, yeah, exactly.
Then I turned around and was like, do you know what? Actually, I looked at then, because I couldn't find anything directly with me. I then spent the next 6 weeks going through the whole of the economy, learning what every other cleaning business is doing, and realising that more of them are shutting down left, right, and front and centre. And I was like, ah.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And as I say, then I'm like, I can't do any more.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. As much as that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to directly be you.
Yeah.
The economy isn't me.
No.
I didn't create the fucking economy.
No.
I've just got to work with it. It's the same way, like that rocket ship one, yeah? You could have gone there and been like, I was there on the wrong day. Yeah? But actually it didn't get cancelled because of you. Or it was something much, much bigger than you.
Well, yeah.
You know? But, and like, you could have, like, so, but a lot of people would have sat there and gone, I was on the wrong day. A lot of people will think that. Because it did happen.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I should have been there. Should have been there.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, actually, you went there. You did your bit. And that just wasn't, it wasn't right.
NASA.
Yeah, it wasn't right timing, you know.
Yeah.
The wind was blowing in the wrong direction. Whatever the fuck it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything, I've never found anything that hasn't had a reason. Like, for example, tyre brakes on a car. Yeah. I haven't hit anything. I haven't hit a pothole now. I haven't done anything. It's one of those. But actually, I've been driving the tyre for the last 2 years on the same tyre.
Has that happened to you recently?
It happens quite a lot. I need to get all 4 tyres done on my motor.
But like the window was cracked.
Yeah.
Why did that crack?
One of those, probably because there's
but
stones.
I can't deal with the probably.
But there's stones on the road. There's that, you know, I know that now at the moment half of Bournemouth is fucking new roads. There's stones all over the road. Probably chances are bounce off a fucking tyre and hit it. I say, it's one of those where if you want to find an answer, you can find a logical answer for everything.
But I'm not that logical. I then go into some crazy stuff.
Yeah, but so I used to. This is the thing, I used to. But the problem is, I will then burn myself out.
Exactly, so that's why I'm like, no.
And it's like, but again, this is like stuff that business has taught me, and with kids and stuff like that. Is actually just slow the fuck down, and you'll find it. Like, because you can't always be rash. Like with you do it all the time. You get off a sales call, they say no. Oh, it's because I didn't say that. I didn't say this. And, oh, fuck's sake. No, you don't know what they're doing in their life right now.
But also, you're a lot worse.
Because I know and I expect so high of myself. And the thing is, I would much rather blame myself than blame something else. But that's only when I can find blame in myself. if I physically, sometimes I can't find blame in myself.
Yeah.
And the same way with you. You've got to remember, I'm 10 years ahead of you on sales.
Yeah.
Right? If I can't close a client, that's my sales technique.
Why?
Because it's.
But it could be them. You don't know the time of the day.
I should have set myself up better. I should have set the time of the meeting better. I should have started it differently.
But maybe they just don't.
And that's
aren't in
fine.
that position.
And that's fine. And I'll also be able to pick that up from their verbal communication.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So, but as I say, I will go through it. I will get off the phone and I'll go first. I will look at my self blame, and then if I'm like, no, actually, I covered all bases. So I set the meeting at the perfect time. I did this, I did that, and it still weren't right. Well, then it just weren't right for them. But as I say, there's a reason for it. You know, and this is what I said to you the other day when you were saying earlier. Should I call it this time? Really? Think about the cons to calling now. Like, there's pros and cons to everything. And it's literally just weighing them all up.
Yeah.
But that is the small decisions that you make, and that is something to give reasoning to what's happened.
And it could make or break something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's one of those where, like, a lot of the time, you know, I was watching a thing about couples the other day. I can't remember what was I reading about. Something about couples anyway. Something about doing boo-boos. Right? And it was funny because a lot of people will go, oh, it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah? But they won't look at the day before, like, say for example in a club, yeah? Right? It's like, oh, it just happened. Yeah? Well, actually, what do you mean it just happened? Give me the rundown of the 20 minutes prior to that. Well, actually, I've come up to you.
Yeah.
And I bought you a drink.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we accidentally touched that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but not accidentally, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, and as I say, like, you actually started that train, mate.
Yeah.
Long before okay, it might have actually been half an hour after that whole conundrum, but there's something that's happened.
Or even if it wasn't you and it was said the other person, there were still things that led up to it as to why it actually happened.
Exactly, and you didn't, and there were signals that, as I say, one, you should blame yourself because you didn't then say fuck off.
Yes.
And also, it's one of those where, yes, they started it as well kind of thing, but you should have been in a position to stop it.
Yeah.
But as I say, it's one of those where there's a reason to it, you know, and like, if a lot of the time you crash, there's a reason to it.
Yes.
You don't do well at work, there's a reason. You're overtired, you know, you're distracted, you're not concentrating properly, you're not in the right environment, you're not using the right stuff, like, or you're just not good at the job. So literally, with one problem that people face every day, they're getting sacked and all that sort of stuff. I've literally just labelled 5 sub problems that could be the reason.
Yeah.
But people always go, he was a dick, he didn't like me, because people can't self-reflect in that way, because there's a risk that the blame is going to come back on them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not an F1 driver. I'd love to be an F1 driver. Well, it's maybe because I've not spent the last 15 years of my life grafting to be an F1 driver.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's also the fact of, like, yeah, there's a lot of people my age that are starting stuff that are skyrocketing. But it's one of those. I'm sacrificing what I'm willing to sacrifice right now. There is people out there, and as much as I fucking hate to admit it, there are people out there in the world outworking me.
Yeah.
I will never want to meet those people. I hate them. But it's one of those. I could sit there right now and go, I'm doing everything. Doing everything possible, and I just don't get there. Like, do you know what I mean? I could have a little pity party, and then someone else will come over and go, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're doing everything. So then all of a sudden, then you've been allowed to think that way. Whereas like when like with me, someone comes up to me like that, they don't come up to me like that.
No.
Because I'm just going to give you the straight.
Yes.
Look, mate, sorry, is what it is. Like, I was talking about Ardy the other day to your mum, because I was playing his music, right? Fucking that boy, okay, he used to do a night shift at Amazon, like in the warehouse. Yeah, he was 21 when it like fucking blew up. He was grafting long before that. He was in Amazon doing a night shift for 12 hours a night, and then in the fucking literally making music the whole of the day. He was barely fucking sleeping. as I say, there's so many musicians like, I can't make it. No one will listen to my music, and I just can't do this. And
sometimes that is the case.
I think it's one of those where
because in the music industry, I think that is quite a hard.
But if you find but again, there's a reason, because with the singing, okay, you might actually put a lot more work in than other people.
But I might be a shit singer.
You might not be as talented.
Or you might be a really good singer but don't know how to actually get that.
You don't know how to promote yourself. You might be a great singer, but you choose to write your own songs all the time, and you might be a shit writer. Like, as I say, there's reasons to it where it happens. Like, I love driving. I'm a great driver. But I'm not that good of a driver where I could go and fucking be a stunt person in Fast and Furious.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, they have literally, like, and I drive quite a lot, but I've not driven half as much as someone else. But as I say, I can't sit there and go, why haven't I made it as a singer? Especially with singing and stuff like that. That's a talent.
You've either got it or you don't have it. You can have it like half and then train the rest of that half, but if you don't have it at all, then you can't get it.
No.
I would never be able to be a singer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just one of those. But I think a lot of people pretend as well. That's the other thing. A lot of people pretend that they can. Just because, like, a lot of people, I think, and this is another fine line between delusion and, like, working. There's, like, working hard, and then there's delusional. Like, if I could literally spend the next 10 years of my life working towards something, and still be really shit at it because it's a talent thing, and I don't have that talent. Like, I played football from the age of like 4 to like 15, right? So I played it for like 10 years of my fucking life. Was I that great at it? Really, I weren't amazing. I was good enough to play Sunday League and that sort of stuff.
But how often did you do it?
Well, I trained twice a week, and I used to play, or once a week, and I used to play every week.
Exactly. Well,
but then there was someone training 7 days a week and playing twice a week and all that sort of stuff, and that's the thing. Like, but it wasn't like. But I have seen people give her everything and still not come out. But as I say, sometimes it's because they're chasing something that's just really.
But then sometimes I think it's a luck thing.
I think there is lucky. Right?
Because if you see like certain, I'm not going to name any names, but certain like singers. There are people that are better than them, but they sometimes just get an opportunity, not given to them, but just laid in front of them that they're obviously going to take. So I think some of it is luck in terms of like celebrity things and like more famous kind of jobs.
But I think you got to look at what they've done beforehand. I say you don't.
But sometimes
it seems like that.
I've got one main one in my head.
What?
No. So certain people, I think. It is like, I'm not saying he didn't work so hard when he got in there, but I'm saying prior to that I don't think he necessarily did a lot of things that got him there.
I get what you mean. I do get it. And like, there's some amazing singers who never make it. There is, but as I say,
I think it's not one or the other. I think it's just sometimes.
Oh, I mean, sometimes you just get blessed. I mean, like, oh my god, fucking hell. I mean, the amount of times, especially over the last couple months, I've sat here and gone, there's someone. There's someone.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, fuck, what have I done to deserve this kind of thing?
Yeah, but then there's also like, I look then back at like what I've then done previous to get to that, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
The initial thing is like, shit, there's someone.
Yeah.
But then I actually do reflect, and I'm like, oh, actually, like, I did this, like, and this is the thing, like, because I was watching like the boxing on the weekend, and Ryan Garcia was fighting Devin Haney. Devin Haney was basically the best boxer in the world, right? And Ryan Garcia is just coming off a loss. Didn't take camp seriously because he's going through mad mental health issues at the minute. He was drinking the whole way through camp, which he shouldn't be doing. Did all that. Went in there and battered the shit out of Devin Haney. Right, absolutely fucked him up. Right, and he's like all in God and all that sort of stuff, which is but like. And he, you know, he says everything to God, and I'm like, yeah, but like, don't get me wrong. Okay, this camp wasn't great for you. But like, look at, like, he's been doing boxing since he was 7 years of age, and he's now 25. Like, it's one of those where that last 3 months weren't your best 3 months, but it wasn't the fact that then you just fluked it through. It was because your body had that muscle memory for so long. And I think that's the thing, is like one of those where sometimes, like, it's easy, like I do it when I feel like I've done really shit, because I've not done all this new amazing stuff. I've actually just done what I needed to do to get through. I'm like, I did a bad job, someone's looking after me. When actually it's like, I just chugged through with muscle memory alone a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the only reason I had that muscle memory, because there's a lot of people in my position that wouldn't have been able to pull through the same way I have. Same way with him. There's a lot of people in his position that wouldn't be able to do it because they've not worked as hard up until that point. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and that's the thing. It's like, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to know. That's where I see that people will look, like, if something happened to you today, you would look maybe at the last 3 months, maybe at the last 3 months. You wouldn't really spend much more time past that. But it's like, no. Whereas, like, I won't stop going back until I figure it out. Because it's like, and it's one of those, because there has to be something I have done, to create that. Do you know
whether it's a good or a bad thing?
Whether it's a good or a bad thing. But the thing is, if I don't face it, if it's a bad thing, it's going to happen again. Because I'm just ignoring the problem. So I'd rather square up to the problem, face it up, go, look, do you know what, fuck that, I did learn from that, sound, you know? And that's the thing, like, he'll now walk away. He walked straight out of that thing and went, what would I have done to him if I had a full camp? You know? Like, but it's the fact that he doesn't realise that way. A lot of people won't realise that it wasn't just a fluke. It was muscle memory that got him through that fight. Because there's not many fighters that can do 12 rounds of boxing when they're physically fit and have had the best 12 weeks of camp ever. He had 8 weeks of camp and he was drinking the whole way through it because he wasn't mentally in the right place to be in camp. So he just didn't take it seriously. He missed weight. So he lost the chance of getting a belt, but he didn't care. He went in there and he beat the shit out of the person he said he was going to beat the shit out of. And everyone was calling him a fraud and all that sort of stuff. And then he won, and now everyone loves him again. Like, some bookies put 800 to 1 for him to lose, which means you put £1 on, you get £801 back. Because they were so adamant he was going to lose, and because of his training camp. And then literally, so people made bank on that fight. But yeah, it's like, because of the last whatever how many years that is, 13 years or something, that's why he got through it. You know? And like, say for example, in 2 years time, like, say for example 2 years time we have a situation in the business where we need to fucking pull together and graft, you'll be so much better at it will be so much easier. Whereas I've had to do that, and I've not really had anyone else kind of thing, but like, apart from like mum and dad and stuff like that, because nobody else has been through it. Whereas now, for example, what happens again, all of a sudden your muscle memory is there, like, well, we've been through this before. We actually know how to fix it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, whereas you wouldn't be able to do that without that muscle memory. And like, I don't look back and go, do you know what, I've pulled myself out of it. Well, like, I've pulled us out of it because of what I've done over the last 3 months. It's not that at all.
No, because otherwise I should be able to do it if we're going back for the last 3 months.
It's what I've gathered over the last 10 years, stored away bits of everything to go,
It's like what you were saying earlier on when someone came in and you said to me afterwards, that's what you need to be able to, like, learn to do, is be able to switch from kind of one brain to the next. It's like you're doing something, then all of a sudden, not a problem, but a situation steps in front of you that you're not really aware of, but it's like, okay, I don't really have time to think, I just need to act and to do, and you're able to do that quick switch because you've done it for the past 10 years.
But it's the same as what we were talking about, I think, in the last one about, like, the brain being a muscle, is the fact that, say for example, you are not using your brain to full capacity, your brain will slowly start to shut down to the point where, say for example, if I asked you what happened 3 months ago, right, you'd be like, fuck.
Don't even know what
Or-
month it was.
Exactly. Or what happened 2 days ago, you'd be like, fuck. But say, for example, you are on it, like me now, I can pick up anything, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know, exactly.
Yeah.
And I have to think. Because my brain is like there, it's on it, and it can store a lot more than what it was storing. And that's the thing is, like, a lot of what I do is muscle memory. And that is brain memory, but muscle memory.
Yeah.
You know, like, I have this conversation with Tara and your mum, stuff like that. They're like, how do you make that decision so quick? Because one, I've been there and done it somewhere. I don't remember the situation, but I just know I've been there and done it. Or if I haven't been there and done it, well, then it's a new experience anyway, and it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
And I'll take my fucking chances.
Yeah.
Because I can hand on heart say, I'm doing everything for a good reason. I'm not making a stupid decision and just try my luck. I'm doing it for a good reason. But it ain't going to play out all the time.
Yeah.
Let's say. But I'll evaluate it, I'll go back, and I'll move on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like... That's what a lot of people don't do. And like that's what one thing like you tell me to do now. Like, I wasn't really doing that before you sort of started. Was like you need to praise yourself for it.
Yes. But then also I think it's a lot easier said to someone else. Like I recognised it in you a lot that you weren't praising yourself. And so I'm like, well, you need to do that because like the jobs that have been coming on recently, you did that. So you should pat yourself on the back and not give yourself a break, but kind of. Yeah, sometimes you need to take that weight off and be like, oh, fuck, like, I actually just did that.
Yeah, and I noticed it is. Same as when we were in the rut a few months ago. It was like, I noticed it with you, and you noticed it with me, but I didn't notice it in me, and you didn't notice it in you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, we both sort of realised it in each other, and then it was like, right. And then actually, I told you how to get out of it, and then you literally a week later told me the exact same information, but I couldn't get to that.
I swear, like a week, like some point last week, I remember we had a conversation, and you said like word for word what I had said to you weeks prior. I can't remember what it was about. Maybe that call, or I don't know. Can't remember, but I literally was like, I remember telling you this like a month ago, word for word.
But you can't. It's a lot harder when it's yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's like one good thing. Like I find like having you and like your mum and and training you guys and like teaching you a lot of the stuff I'm doing is the fact that I have to then do it.
Yes.
Because I can't teach it if I'm not doing it. You know, so it's like I have to step back and do it. Like I have to, you know, if I want to push you to do uncomfortable things, I need to push myself to do uncomfortable things. And it's like, and it's one of those where like look at winter. It's one of those where if I went into complete fucking meltdown, kicked off all the time, and lost my shit, everyone else can do the same thing when there's a drama.
Yeah.
But okay.
We're like your children. Like it's like leading by example.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas like, okay, yeah, I got stressed, a bit stroppy and stuff like that, but like, I got my head down and I just got on with it, kind of thing. And it's like, so then it will sort of teach you, it's like, oh, actually, there's nothing that's that bad. Like, everything can be resolved.
You can freak out for like 5-10 minutes, but like at the end of the day, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and you got to just put your big boy pants on and get the fuck on with it, and actually at the end of the day it'll all be sound and work itself out, you know.
Nothing's that deep.
Nah, and that's the one thing that like I've learned is like, oh shit, actually, like all I got to do is just reset for 5 minutes, like take myself off my stroppy walk, come back with my big boy pants on and get the fuck on with it.
Yeah.
And that's literally it.
Yeah.
Like it really isn't that bad. Like, oh, okay. And then actually like a lot of the time, like with you go, oh, I don't want, like, this phone call's making me nervous. Because you're thinking about everything that could happen on the phone call. Get on the fucking phone call and actually find out that they're a nice guy or a nice girl and actually it goes really well.
And then afterwards I feel like on top of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, last week? Friday, when you said it, I was like, I could not say it enough. I was like, just, you fucking smashed it. I literally told everybody. I was like, you're fucking smashed
I told everyone as well. I was quite proud of myself.
Like, fucking right, live on that. Whereas if I'd done that, I would literally just put the phone down and go, alright, next one. Wouldn't have given a shit.
Yeah.
But like now you are making me start to think like that, you know, which is important. When you come on, when you look at when you come on like 8 months ago or 7 months ago, whenever it was, like you come out from a place where you weren't getting paid. Like you didn't like you still don't know what you want to do, but like you didn't have any idea.
No.
You just come here to just do a bit because it was your uni placement year for like 2 days a week or something. And it's like, and I didn't really feel like, and because like me and you weren't really like we are now. Like we weren't the same. Like we didn't really speak. Like we spoke, but we weren't like we are now.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was more the fact it was like, just give you whatever value you can get out of it, because I couldn't really see what I was going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, my social media was going to be up today, but other that I couldn't really see much more than that, because I was like, I didn't really know what there was to be brought to the table kind of thing until, and then as I say, and then it was the more and more time I spent with you, and it was like, as I say, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and Jazz is coming along. It's like, fuck, Jazz is very vital in that role. Like Jazz is bringing that to me. Like I said to you the other day, like you help me see things that I don't see. Like, and you're very good with, like, as I say, stopping and praising yourself and all that kind of stuff. And like we sort of work very well because of that.
I saw a thing on Instagram that I told you about a couple of weeks ago that someone said that when it comes to like what are they called? Co-founders? Like when it comes to a business that is run by two people, one of them is normally very business minded, very straight to the point, and one of them is the more emotional person and sees their, I don't know, they said stuff about the customers and understands what the customers might be feeling or thinking and stuff like that. And I think that is very us. You are, not that you don't have any feelings, but you are very straight to the point.
It's business, is what it is. This is what happens.
Exactly. Whereas I'm quite a sensitive little bean, and I feel more things and quite deeply. And I'm like, that's why I get so scared on these calls, because I'm like, I don't know. It's more okay. Well, I've done something wrong, not personality wise, but I'm like, there's been a mix up here. Whereas you might be like, they might not have the money. It might not be the right time of the day. There's what's the word? There's more of a logical explanation than a more emotional explanation sometimes. So you're the logical side, I'm the more emotional, and that's why I'm the creative out of this situation, because creative people are more emotional, I guess. So it's like, you're the businessman, and I don't really know what I bring to the party, but like I'm the emotional person. I just cry a lot. That's what I do.
Walk around the office crying, get flustered and that. But as I say, I think with the creations on you, because you have to be quite in tune with yourself and that sort of stuff. And like as I say, I'm quite shut off from all of that because I have to be. Because at the end of the day, in business, you do have to be to a degree.
It's like you don't give yourself time to praise yourself about things because you don't see it as it's benefiting the business, if that makes sense. What is you praising yourself for 5 minutes benefiting you in the long run in terms of business, in terms of like finances and like new clients? But then I see it as praising yourself actually does benefit the business because it benefits you. So it benefits your mind and it benefits you as a person, which in turn then benefits the business.
And I think like it's a hard one to follow because it's not the fact though, and this is where it is very good, is I'm the same both ways. So when something goes wrong, so like when something goes right, you might sit on it for say 2 hours and you'll be happy about it, but when something goes wrong, you'll sit on it for 3 days. Because your brain you can't regulate your like the emotions directly. Even though you're not a baby, like you can regulate it enough, you still can't regulate it as much. So I found my happy medium of like, all I do it like 10 minutes either way. So 5 minutes like 10 minutes happy, and then on to the next thing, and the same way. When it goes wrong, I give myself 10 minutes to evaluate and I move the fuck on. Because it's sort of one of those, it's the same as anything. If I give you a deadline to fucking draw something tomorrow, right, you're going to do it in what time you think. Whereas if I say I need it done in 20 minutes, I need it done in 20 minutes. And that's how I do it. Because it's one of those emotion. Sometimes I will spend 3 days trying to find a problem. Because I was using my emotion. Then all of a sudden I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating, I'm not doing all that sort of stuff. Now I do it logically, and within 10 minutes I've solved it and I've fucking moved on and I've gone, do you know what, shit happens.
However, you can do the 10 minutes for this, like, bad things, but then sometimes you never give yourself the time to do it in the good things.
No, and I don't, but that's the thing. But it's like, but that's because I think, like, that's how I am, is the fact that, like, for me, not a lot is ever good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the issue we face.
Yeah, and that is, yeah, and I get that. Like, obviously, yeah, that's not maybe the most healthy thing in the world, but that's what sets me apart from a lot of people, and I know that.
Yeah, I know, but then it also could benefit you to praise yourself.
It could do, and I think, like...
And it does.
Yeah, it does, and I feel good. And, like, there's been some over the last couple of weeks where I'm like, do you know what, actually, like, I have given myself time, and as I say, but it doesn't... I don't know. I just find like it doesn't change too much for me, because at the end of the day, the situation, I've got the situation I want. I've gone, do you know what, that was good. Well, do you know what I mean? Like, I've got to move on eventually. Like, so I may as well just move on.
I know, but like you can still sit on it for a while.
I think it's one of those. As I said, I'd rather deal with it and move on. Same with bad and good. Deal with it and move on, and that's it. And that's how I am. I'm literally, I don't get stressed about a lot because there's no point. I will deal with it and I will move on. But
what drives you more? If you fucked it up, does that drive you more in terms of like, okay, like I need to fix this, da da da, or does like, oh shit, like look what I just done, like that's so good? Does that drive you more? Because for me, good things drive me more, but then also like I don't know.
I'd say they drive me differently.
Yes.
Because it's like, say for example, I fucked up. I will, the first thing first, I will not stop until it's rectified.
Yeah.
No matter how big the job is. And then secondly, it will then be putting the stuff in place to make sure it never happens again. So proofing that system. Whereas if I do something good, I think it motivates me because it's like, that was good, so I can do better. If that makes sense, but I get motivated more by the mistakes.
Yeah, I would thought you would.
Yeah, because
but then I don't know if this is true. This is just my perception, but I also feel like it's because your ADHD brain.
Yeah, probably.
That you like to have a lot going on. You need a lot going on. Like we said earlier on, that quite a lot of things today have been like solved, which is a great thing. But you're now like, oh. Like you weren't motivated at a certain part of today. Towards the end of the day you were like, oh, like, but today's been a great day in hindsight. But you were more like, oh, okay, because you don't have that, not stress, but you don't have that thing that is at the back of your brain that is like, ooh, like that should be thought about at all times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's probably the fact of that, because I have to be busy, I have to be going mad. But I think a lot of the time, if I'm not pushing myself, if I'm not making mistakes, I'm not pushing myself hard enough. And that's one thing that I would say I regret growing up, is the fact that as much as I had a lot of fun, and as like, not regret, because that's like quite a dark, like that's quite a deep one, right? But like and it's hard because I didn't have. It's easy for me to sit there and say like, I wish I had started businesses earlier, but I didn't have the same knowledge there. Yeah, so like this is why I say I just cut it out and go, I didn't do it. Move on. Yeah, because as I say, it's one of those like, I can't dwell on it. Like, but it's one of those where I find when I'm making mistakes, or you know, it's getting a little bit dicey. Could go either way. I'm like, right, this is my best point. And
like a week ago or so, you are motivated, I personally think, through adrenaline and through risk taking. Yeah. I mean, that's my whole biggest thing. And it's got me in a lot of trouble. But it's worked for me as well, because it's one of those where you know you shouldn't do it. It's like in Nemo, it's like, don't touch the boat. Yeah. Like, that, being on that edge of like, oh... That's where you thrive. Yeah. That's where you do your best work. Yeah, and it's like one of those where if, for example, it goes too far, I'll put my hands up and go, fucked up. Yeah. But like, it's one of those where I can't sit there and go, do you know what, I'm not going to have a play and see what happens. Because I just can't do that. It's not in my nature. It's like, you know, let's just see what happens. I say, like,
it's just funny, isn't it? And it just makes my day more interesting.
Yeah.
As I say, but I will never sit there at the end of the day. If I fuck up, I will always say, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Completely my fault. I swam too close to the boat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's also, at least I will know. And this is one thing that I always say, is when I die, I want to say I did everything. Like that my brain wants me to do.
If you had a thought, you act on it.
I act on it and I see what happens. As I say, sometimes that is a bad problem to have. But sometimes it's like, again, it's a learning thing. You know, like, I don't like upsetting people. But I can't accept me not doing me. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's like, oh no, I should be doing that. I know it's a bad thing to do, but for me, and my brain wants to explore it. So let's push it and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And risk is and adrenaline is the most addictive thing I've ever been on. I could not function without adrenaline. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why it ticks me that way. As I say, it just does, and I love it. I literally love it. I'm not. But it's not that stupid thing of like, oh, I could die. Like, you know what I mean? Like adrenaline with like bungee jumping. It's not that type of adrenaline.
Like going on a roller coaster.
Nah, it's that adrenaline of like, I shouldn't be doing this, which is a really bad adrenaline to have. Like really bad adrenaline to have. But it's like, but the problem is, without it, I don't have that same motivation. It's the fact that I use it to sort of tease my brain, if you like. So I ramp up the adrenaline, and then I use that for everything else. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't use it for that thing, because otherwise I'd be fucking dead by now. So I just ramp it into everything else, and then eventually it wears down. So I put the dragon again, and then eventually it'll come back, use it for something else. Like I know how to control it, now. Like because I've done it and been there for so many years, and I like understand myself quite well now. It's like, what do I need to do to hit that line? Where I'm risking it, but it's cool. Now I can go. You know? And that's it's basically how I do it. You know, that's sort of. Yeah, adrenaline is amazing, but it's the most addictive thing, and you can't control it. Like everyone gets adrenaline off different things. Yeah. Like, and also you react to adrenaline differently.
Like I did a phone call earlier on today, and then I spoke to Jamie as soon as the phone call ended, and I was physically shaking because I was. Because I amped myself up, not in a good way. Like I stress before a phone call because it terrifies me. But then during the phone call, I'm fine. But afterwards, it's that release of all that built up stress. But then I was like shaking, and I actually couldn't speak because I was so worked up.
Yeah, see, whereas like when my adrenaline leaves my body, I literally just crash hard. Like I could literally fall asleep within 30 seconds.
That might be why, because then when you guys had your interview, I was like, fuck. I literally felt like I was going to fall asleep. I was like, do I have,
insomnia? No, not insomnia. What's it called? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I think he had it in Victoria.
Oh yeah.
Narcolepsy. I honestly was like, all of a sudden I was like, I am actually going to fall asleep on this chair. And I was like, and then I put my headphones on because I was like, I need to listen to some music because I was like, I'm not okay. That's probably why.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it's like because I hit the same. I had all the interviews today. All the interviews finished, and all of a sudden I died. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Oh, it's because actually my brain ain't going like that. Yeah. Like, but that's the thing. But like, so I know I'm not my best, and this is where I have to run quite a fine line with life, because I know my best when I know I'm flooded with the shit. Yeah. Like, but it's getting flooded with the shit with the line. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is a line with it, because everyone hits it different end. But for me, it's the risk of this could blow up in my face. Yeah, let's keep exploring.
That's his side of. That's why he's here.
Yeah.
I just ride the roller coaster behind you.
Yeah.
You do that loop-de-loop, and I'll just come at the end.
But with business, you have to be. I think you have to like risk. If you can't take risk, you can't run a business. I think. Because if you stayed safe, you wouldn't be able to run a business.
Someone told me the other day. Well, I heard this through the grapevine, and I think this is another podcast idea I had, is about taking risks in business, but also in life, I guess, but mainly in business. Someone said that they think that I like to choose the safe route in life, and it really like, Jamie, I was fuming. I was like, how the fuck can this person say this? I was like, well, you obviously don't know a lot of... Well, like, in the past, yes, I would take the easy route out, but within the last couple of years, I forced myself to do things that I would never normally do. Don't look like that. What?
No.
Uni, you're saying, is the easy route out.
No. Oh no, I didn't actually think about uni.
What are you thinking about?
Well, no, because you've just said it really annoyed you.
It did really annoy me. What are you thinking of?
Yeah, I mean, I do think... Yeah, I
like,
do...
I'm not as a risk taker as you, and there are people that obviously take a lot more risks. However, I used to be someone who wouldn't take zero risks.
Yeah, no, I think
and
for you...
Yes, personally, I think
I would agree with that.
Yes,
yeah,
so that's why it
agree
annoyed me so much, because I'm like... 2 years ago, I was meant to go to university in London, and I didn't want to leave my mother, so I went 5 minutes down the road. 6 months later, I then decided to go halfway across the world.
Yeah.
That was like my first like big thing. That I was like, fuck, I know no one. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I did it.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think I've like gradually grown. It hasn't been overnight or anything like that, but I think slowly but surely I am growing in terms of...
Oh my god. Oh my god. Massively.
Yeah, what were you going to say though?
Yeah, I think you have grown massively. No, I would completely agree with that. I think you have grown massively, and as I say, for you, yes, 100%. It is a complete like 180. Yeah. Yeah.
However, so you have to say it now.
However, I'm just saying. Like, I just think. Yeah, I don't know.
You have to say it.
No, because I'm not 100. I don't know, like what I'm trying to say, but like I do feel like there is because again, but then I'm comparing you to how he was. Because comparing you how he was, yeah, you were completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I think with risk, I agree with
what are you gonna say?
Because it's also not fair. Because as I say, it's not fair to compare it to other people, because obviously other people have to make different decisions and stuff like that. No, I don't know. I'm not going to put that dragon.
No, you have to now. You can't dangle the carrot.
I will say completely that you have completely grown as a person. Completely.
Do I take risks? That's the bit that you're not saying. No, is his answer.
I think it's because I still believe with you and I've said this since the beginning, as much as you are growing every day, and I can see that, and it is incredible. I think for you you still have the confidence issue. Yes. Because it's one of those where the thing is, you said it to me the other day, because I was like, I even had times where I've questioned my own ability and confidence, and you were there like, I've never questioned you. Yeah. Like, you for some reason have complete confidence in me. Yeah. But if I asked you to do it on your own, or like something that you know how to do, I don't have confidence in whatever I do. It's the confidence of the finishing, and it's one of those where I can notice that in terms of the fact of, like, say for example, if I say to you, so like, you can do some of the best work. You can do the best work that I've seen, right? But I feel like sometimes you do play it a little bit safer when it's the work that you do on your own, so it's not completely out there.
I'm confused what you're talking about.
So, like, say for example, if I said to you about, like, I'm just talking about, like, the work side of things. Yeah? So, like, social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at some of the posts that you can do. Like, I know what you can do with social media. You've shown me what you can do with social media over the last 7 months. Yeah. Like, I literally say to everyone, I have someone doing my social media and they're fucking sick, right?
Thanks so much.
But then I'll see something that you've posted, and I get it's like a
on
quicker
my
post.
personal...
No, like Instagram or so, like on Perfect Finish or whatever kind of thing. I'm like, that's safe.
Yeah.
And it's like that, and that for me, I'm like, that's. I don't know whether that's because it's, as I say, if you had shown me that, you know, I would have turned around and said, you know what, it's boring.
Yeah.
But as I say, because you're trying to do it on your own, which is great.
Yeah.
That's solid. I'm not knocking you.
Now I want to know what you think's safe.
You will know. I mean, like, I can go through it with you, but like,
yeah.
I just look, and sometimes I'm like, that isn't the jazz I get when I'm with you. There's jazz when you're with me,
yeah,
and I'm sat there like, come on, you know, like, come on, you can do that, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and literally, you will produce the most amazing stuff. And then sometimes I will see stuff, and I'm like, it's not bad, like, I like it. I'm just like, it doesn't do anything.
Yes.
And it's because I know how much you can do and what you're capable of, that I'm like, that was a bit safe.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's, in terms of everything else, no, I wouldn't say it. I would just say it's the confidence sometimes that gets in the way of you going. Like, but then also you're working with someone who is so fucking out there, it's unbelievable.
Yes.
Because, like, but I would much rather you put the most batshit crazy post up in the world, and I'm like, fucking hell, Jazz, don't like that. You know what I mean? Because because that's confident.
And I don't have it. I don't have any confidence.
No, and that's the thing, and this is what I've been saying to you since the beginning, is the fact that the one thing that we need to work on with you is by nowhere near the ability, it's your confidence.
How do you work on confidence?
Well, this is why I'm forcing you to do everything that you don't want to do. I just think, like, if I was to say, because a lot of the time, like, you do that on your own when I'm doing my other stuff, which is fine, and I say that's great for me because it means, like, you can get on and do it. But if you put that work in front of me and that work, the work where like we've gone through it together, kind of thing, and you've done all the creation, I haven't done fuck all, but I've just given you that nod. Yeah. Compared to when you've done it,
it's okay, Jazz.
Yeah, to when you've done it solo, I'm like, they're two different people. And like that's where I'm saying I still notice you holding back, and it's like it's one of those where, like, I know for a fact, I know you know exactly what to do to, like, you know what to do with what, like, brand creations and stuff like that right now. Yeah, but there's, as I say, it's one of those where I'm like, it's also yours as well.
See, I don't see it as that.
No, but this is the thing, I do. I'm like, it's mine and Jazz's. So it's like, and the thing is, it's like one of those where I will take all the risk. I will take the risk all the time, and that's fine. But as I say, it's one of those where I'm like, if you did it as well, I don't give a fuck. Try it. If nobody fucking likes it, take it down. Do you know what I mean? It can be deleted, like, but it's one of those where I'd rather try something and have fun with it and actually do something where you can go, do you know what? Look how fucking. You might not like what's on it, but look how good that looks, or something like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like I will say to you, sometimes you create something, and I don't like what you've done, but it's very good. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not my taste.
Yes.
Like, but as I say, it's one of those where I just notice with you that there's that confidence barrier.
Yeah.
And that will come, because bearing in mind you are literally like 3 months into brand creations even being alive. So, like, it's not...
I think that's the thing, is because I don't believe I have the skill, so that's why I'm not that's why I don't have the confidence, because I compare myself to everyone else around me.
But I don't think the funny thing is with it, I don't think you have the skill of some people out there.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
I don't have the skill of half the people out there, but it's one of those where by me not putting myself out there, that instantly means I'm playing it safe. I'm doing what I'm very good at, and I'm doing you are doing the best work out of the people that's their ability. if that makes sense.
Kinda.
So like you've got the people that can do this ability, then you've got a little break, then you've got the people that can do this ability. So you're hovering in the middle because you don't want to do a bad job of something that should be sick, and you don't want. Do you know what I mean? So like you do a good job of saying that actually you can do quite easily.
Something that I was looking at a lot when we first started like doing social media posts is that I will compare my work to someone who's been doing it for the past 10 years and my work isn't as good as that. However, this might be the first video that I'm editing this kind of style or using certain attributes that I've never used before. So I'm like, well, mine doesn't look like theirs, so I can't post mine. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, this is shit, there's no point of posting it. But if you scrolled all the way down on the person who's been doing it for 10 years, if you scrolled all the way down to the first video, it's probably even worse than the one you've just created. And I can say that to other people. I understand that that is the reality, but when it's me, I'm like, no, it needs to be perfect, because otherwise I'm not proud of it.
Yeah, but then what you're putting out is stuff that you haven't had to put you haven't had to put jazz into it. You've put what other people can put in.
Yeah.
So jazz isn't in that picture.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like Gary Vee, he's an exceptional example. He's literally been doing YouTube for like the last 20 years, right? His videos are him in a room on a camera this fucking big, and it's shit quality, shit audio, all of that sort of stuff. Now he fucking is a billionaire. But if he didn't do that, you'd never be there, like you said. And this is the thing, like, it's one of those where with you, that's where I say you're still holding back.
Yeah.
Is because I would rather, like, you know, and then when you do come up with a sort of out there thing, it's like, oh, okay, I'll go talk to Jamie. Like, you talk it through with me a little.
Yeah.
Like, we'll talk through the more out there things.
Yeah, because I'm like, like, this might not be your cup of tea.
Yeah.
Like, when we did the Lumivox thing, for the day thing, the little leaflet. I did it, but I didn't think it would be your cup of tea because it was my cup of tea. And sometimes we do actually really agree on things, but sometimes it's like, oh no. And I didn't think you were going to like it, but I personally really liked it.
Yeah.
And you did like it. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'm now proud of that because it is me. Like I did that. Oh. The Lumivox day event thing. Where people came.
Oh yeah.
And the little post, the little leaflet thing we did.
Yeah.
The orangey one.
Yeah. And that's the thing. But it's like, the thing is, I say, like, you take it away from yourself by adding me into it sometimes. Because the thing is, a lot of the time, what happens is I come up with an idea, and actually, instead of, like, we do talk it through, but it's, most of the time it's me just telling you the idea, and it's like, let's just go with it kind of thing. Whereas, like, with you, it's like, like, I've had this bit of an idea.
Yeah.
It's sort of one of those.
The only reason you tell me is because you need it done.
Yeah.
Whereas I tell you to get confirmation.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing it.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the thing where it's like, and that's the thing, like, I say, as an employee, yeah.
But also, this actually tells back to something else. The reason I think I do that is because of school, and because I've always said my only form of validation is like academic validation. It's not anymore, but like it used to be my main thing. I did something, my teacher said it was good, I got happy about it. I was like, yay, I did something right. So I feel like that, God, we are having a therapy session.
Really
I think that is the reason I'm still like that. It's because it's ingrained in my head that like something has to be how someone else wants it for it to be right.
Yeah.
It's not, if I do something and I like it, it doesn't mean it's right. It's if someone else said it's right, then it's right.
Yeah, but like the thing is one of those where like I will see the post, like I don't even look at Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
You just post and I don't even see it.
Yeah.
Because I don't get.
Yeah.
But it's also the fact that I also know I'm going to see stuff on there that I just don't get excited by. I want to see, as I say, like, because for me it's like, that's just a picture.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm like, there's 10 other things.
Sometimes I do need to do things for like...
Sometimes you need to do the slower things,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. Like, that you need to fit all categories. But I know, like, when I haven't, like, in a week, I'm like, I've not seen any of you, in that, and what you can actually do.
Yeah.
You've done what people want you to do.
For example, one thing that I actually am really enjoying at the moment and I'm proud proud of is the perfect finish videos.
Mm.
That is like, I never really did stuff like that much before, but then I did it and I was like, I'm actually proud of that because it was something different than I'm normally doing.
Yeah. I think it, because I'd never question your ability. I would never question your ability. I think you can do it 10 times over.
I question my ability on a daily basis.
But
do you not question yours?
No, I can't.
I do it every day.
Unfortunately, I can't. I've been there. I've done it. I just can't.
Did you at the early days though?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, but I was up against Dad, so
exactly. And now I'm up against you.
Yeah.
We were saying this the other day. Is like, I'm now doing all the sales calls, but my thing always at the back of my head is I shouldn't be doing this because I'm not going to be able to close this client. Or if I don't close this client, at the back of my head, I have a little voice telling me, Jamie could have closed that client.
And this is why it's not the fact that I just can't bother to be on the calls. It's the fact that I'm like, there's no benefit to it. Because to be honest with you, every sales call we take is a 50-50. And it's literally, it's one of those, you've got to be on it to fucking get it. And as I say, you will learn, you will say things wrong, you will mumble your words, you'll do shit wrong, but you won't fix that if you never do it. And as I say, I have to be there, like, just do it, because if I do that with one thing, it will start to going in your head, like, it's hard, Jamie's going to make me do it. So instead of going to Jamie, I may as well just do it.
Yeah.
Like, it'll get there, it will sink in. It's just one of those, like, I've done it with everyone in the office. It's like, oh, you're uncomfortable? Great, do it.
Well, when we first started getting these calls, I was like, I know what's coming. Like, I already had preempted it, that I was like, fuck, I know what's ahead of me with these next couple of days, because I knew it had to be me, not you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And now it's one of those where, as much as you still get stressed and stuff like that, break out crying.
No.
So we're improving. We're getting there. And that's the thing, like, that's the nice thing with, like, you doing it and stuff like that, is the fact that I can watch you. As I say, you are growing massively. Even in the 6 months before, like, since you've been here or whatever it is, you've grown massively, and you're learning so much. You are literally doing everything right. But that's why I'm, like, giving you so much freedom with it, and I'm not babysitting you, because you're doing it. You can do everything. You are doing everything. But as I say, you're also gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
But I also just don't like that.
No, but as I say, honestly, the amount of fuck ups I've made in my life is just unbelievable. But as I say, I now know. Well, maybe Jamie, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's and that's the thing with it.
But it's also disappointment.
But
because I don't want to disappoint you.
Yeah, but I'll never be if you decided to put something up that you hadn't tried in and it was shit, I'd be disappointed. But she's not tried.
Oh, yeah, I'm confused.
So, like, you say, for example, you put a post up, you put no effort into it, you know it's shit.
Yeah.
You know I'm not going to like it, you post it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to be disappointed, because you're posting shit. But if I can hand on heart say, do you know what, Jazz really tried there?
Yeah.
And do you know what? Like, I can see the road you were trying.
The reason,
Yeah, or you can explain it to me if I can't see it. That's the other thing. Sometimes I question you to get the reason out of you. It's not because I'm, like, being a dick. I just need... The reason will make sense. I just need that reason from you. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay.
I understand now.
She's taking a swing.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Like, how can you have a go at someone with that? You know what I mean? You tried and it didn't work. And that's... You wouldn't be in this position with me if I didn't trust you completely. And that's the thing, like, I have complete trust in you to do your best work. Whatever that comes out as, I'm not specifying what it is, I'm saying that you will do your best. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Because everything else can be learned. And there's so much stuff you don't know. As I say, I am 10 years ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like, there is so much you don't know about. And you came on to 2 days a week of social media. Now you're fucking learning about business every day. And I'm teaching you about all the different, like, business styles and all that sort of stuff. And the knowledge that you're getting and stuff like that. So
even like, from just observing.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the time, I'm not actually talking to you.
Yeah.
I'm just in the fucking room with you.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, and that's the thing. You've got to be like that. And that's why I say I have complete faith in what you do, and that's why I can be as hands off as I am, because actually out of a whole office you're the least person now I speak to. I used to literally, we used to spend every waking minute together. Now I actually spend the least time with you in the day because I don't need to. You get on with it, you do you. And I'd stick and I'd stick 6 people under you right now. Like, I don't, do you know what I mean? Like, because I know that you'll make the right decision, but for what you think is right at the time.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the wrong decision sometimes.
Yeah.
Do it every day. Do it every day. You know, I do it every day, and I'm in charge of 80 people. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're human. And I've done it for 10 years. So what, you know what I mean? But the thing is, the only way I've got here is by taking so many risks and do it. And as I said to you the other day, is sat there going, do you know what? I have to be better than Dad. Because I don't want to be Dad. I want to beat Dad.
Yeah.
And that's what's driven me through everything. So I'm like, Dad, have you done that course? No, I'll do it. Dad, you done that? I'll do it. Oh, actually, that's a hard job. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those where it's like, oh, then I'll get better. You know, and like a lot of the time, especially with like younger people now, like they always think they should have it all figured out. Like, I don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
A lot of those, just fucking wing it, mate. Good laugh.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It'll be what it'll be. You know? Like, and that's the thing. But I think that's the downside, I do think, of you being around me, is the fact that you try and compare yourself to where I am. But you're not also taking into account what I've had to do to be where I am.
I have 2 sides. I have, like, the content side, like social media and what I can do creatively, but then I spend my whole life...
It's really hot.
It's getting quite warm in here. I think the heating's on. I spend my whole life on TikTok seeing people who have been doing it for the past 10 years do it. I do it, like, when I'm not working, I'm on social media, which is my job, so I'm constantly looking at things that I'm like, oh, I can't do that, I've done that, but I did it 10 times worse than that. So I'm comparing myself constantly with that, and I'm at uni as well, and I see people in my degree do things so much better. And then for the business side, I'm surrounded by you all the time. I'm surrounded by you all the time, so I'll compare myself like a sales call. Like, oh, I can't close that, you probably could, but then you also have 10 years of knowledge.
And I've done 5,000 phone calls and you've done 4. Do you know what I mean? Like, in the grand scheme of things, in the last 2 weeks, like, you've literally done like 5 phone calls. And it probably feels like you've done about 700.
It feels like I've done so many roughly, so just say 5.
But you've probably literally done about 6 or 7 maximum.
Yeah, definitely not over 10, but it feels like about at least 50.
Exactly, and that's the thing. So, and it will do, you know, and that's the thing with it. But like, everyone's you were at different stages, but with you that's the only thing I would say with you is the confidence side, which, as I say, I've always said to you that we need to work on that, because it will just get better and better and better. And once you do something, that's the other thing I noticed. Once I get you to do something, you can do it 5,000 times on repeat, no question. It's the first few times. That's what I mean. Once you get to 20 sales calls, 30 sales calls.
Even now, I feel a lot better when I do it. Like, when I was doing them like last week or the week prior, an hour before the call, that would be all I was thinking about. So I was like, oh, I need to do this, but like at the back of my mind, I'm like, fuck. Half an hour before, I would come down here and I would write my script out and I would read over my script 20 million times. And then 10 minutes before, I would be like, fuck. And like 5 minutes before, I would then start panicking. That would be my panicking time. My heart rate would go a million miles an hour. Now I'm like, oh, okay, I have a call at 12, and then at 1:45 it's like, oh, okay, like I'll come down here, write my script, go over it, but I also now don't let myself have that time to panic, because it's not doing me any favors. No. So it's like, I'm going to take that time to actually try. Like, yeah, it's easier said than done, being like, okay, stop stressing, focus on something. But now I've done it multiple times, it's easier to do that, to be like, stop stressing, it's going to be fine, they're just humans. It's not the end of the world.
And if they say no one's dying.
And I had a very good couple of calls last week with a certain person, And it's made me feel a lot more confident in these other calls, because it's like, oh, well, I haven't necessarily closed them yet, hopefully. But it's like, well, I still, like, got them on the phone 3 times in 2 days. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. But, like, you will... Like, with me, but this is the other thing, and this is why I say you have to be logical with it, is you allocate half an hour before a phone call, before a 5-minute phone call. I get on the phone I'm meant to be on at 12. I get on the phone at 1:02, and I haven't even thought about what I'm going to say yet, because I've rammed all my other stuff, and it's like, it will just come out naturally on the phone, because it's muscle memory.
Yeah, whereas I don't have that muscle memory right now. So I don't really read through. I know exactly, because I'll read through my script, and it's the exact same script each call. So I'm like, I know it, I'm just refreshing my memory. And even when I'm on the call, I don't really look at the script. When they're talking, I then look at, like, my next points. But it's like, I know what I'm saying, and also with a call is you never know what they're going to say, so you can't plan word for word. No.
And it's also clear when someone is reading off the script as well, which also puts them off. So the quicker you get out of that, the better. And so, like, that's the thing. Like, I used to do the same, and then I was like, do you know what? This is actually damaging it, because they could tell. I just sound like a salesperson.
And it's like, today I knew the person I was calling was going to be on a long drive, so I then was like, I had a little bit of, like, small talk, whereas, like, last week or 2 weeks ago I would have not cared about their day and have just been like, okay, hello, la da 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 da, and not have said anything else, because I couldn't process any more information bar the one that was in front of me.
Yeah, and it's like, but the one thing that we all do, like today, I got him to email a customer that we were waiting to hear back from. And I knew when I saw her 2 weeks ago, she said she was away for this weekend because it was her birthday.
Yeah.
So I told her at the start of the message, but I hope you had a good birthday.
Yeah.
It's a stupid line, but it just breaks that defence, because they remember.
It's personable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, it's, as you say, you remember the fact that you were going on a long drive or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that sort of thing. It's like, oh, this isn't just a normal company, like another company.
Yeah.
Like, and like, that's... But you can't do that, as you said 2 weeks ago. You would never have got that. So then he would have had his walls up even more. But you broke a bit down.
Yeah.
You know, like, and he actually give you the time of day.
Yeah, we had a little laugh before we then started the sales part, which isn't that much enjoyable for him, because who wants to really be sold at?
And to be honest, it's not that enjoyable for you either.
No, I wasn't going to say it, but no.
It's not. That's not the most enjoyable part of the phone call.
Yeah.
The enjoyable part of the phone call is the hello and then the fucking getting off the phone with them.
Yes.
In between, it's sort of all just, that's just a mandatory thing that has to happen. But as I say, it can be more enjoyable. For, like, me, I enjoy the back and forth of it. Like, oh, they've said this, or they've said that. And like,
like that kind of give and take.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, what? Like, there's no point planning, because as you said, there's no guarantee what's coming back. So then you may as well just sort of, like, may as well just wing it.
As long as you know, like, the core piece of information, which is
you
the
do
bit.
Anyway.
I know, but then I'm not confident in that.
No, exactly. And that's the thing. If I said, to you, well, look at now, we fucking sat down to this half-hour podcast, probably been a 2 hours. Like, you can chat.
Yeah.
You got no problem chatting.
Yeah.
But the thing is...
I can talk out my fucking arsehole.
Yeah, but you won't allow yourself because of the confidence, and that's the thing. Like, whereas with me, I'm like, I must admit, I get a little bit where I'm like, oh, do you know what? Like, I just don't think. Like, I get probably 3 seconds of nerves, and I'm like, this is pointless. This is absolutely pointless now. Like, all I'm doing is winding myself up.
However, one thing I would like to say is, I try and think of things as a positive. Yes, I can't spend half an hour stressing, but still, like, before a phone call, when the phone is ringing, I'm like, oh, fuck, like, when are they going to answer? That's the point I get nervous. But then I try and look at it as, like, I get this nervous because I care this much.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Oh, it's for a reason.
Yes.
Oh, 100% it's for a reason. Like, it's completely validated. Like, as to why. And like,
because sometimes I'm like, fuck, just, like, shut up, Jazz, and just get on with it. But it's like, I will. It just takes me a bit more time. And it's like, you need to allow yourself to have that time to then get to a point that you don't get nervous.
Well, that's what I said to myself. Is, like... a little while ago is the fact that I can be how I am because I know myself in and out, and I know what makes me tick, I know what doesn't make me tick. Like, it's understanding yourself that can make you do that. Like, if you don't understand yourself, you can't do it. But like, And as I say, that's you are learning all of that every day. Like, you're 21, like just turned 21, fuck's sake, and you've literally been in this side of the business for 3 months. Like, give yourself do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, give yourself fucking break.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's one of those where what you are doing is incredible and it's coming. Do you know what I mean? It will happen. As I say, you just got to allow it to happen.
You just got to be patient. That was the thing that was the word for word like thing that I said to you a couple of weeks ago, like months ago, and then like you said back to me that you just got to be patient. And that's a very hard thing to do.
It's horrible.
But you just sometimes have to wait. You can do all the right things, and sometimes it just
ain't happening.
No.
But it will, and that's the thing. And yeah, you told me that endless amount of times, and that's the thing. And I hate
like February, March, January, February. That was what I lived by. That was like the quote I lived by: patience.
Yeah. No, I think I used to be just as nervous as you. Yeah.
It just takes time. Practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
See, these quotes are a thing for a reason.
They literally are.
Yeah.
They literally are.
They might be, what's the word? Cliche.
Yeah.
But there's a reason they've been around this long. It's because it's true.
And I see, you know, I can see where you're working towards already. And if I couldn't, I wouldn't put so much into it. You know, I can see the path you're on already. And as I say, it's sort of one of those, but you've just, you know, I just sort of hold back and try and let you see it.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I try to do with you, is I try and intervene without too much, because I think it's sort of one of those where it's got to be you that decides it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
you have to look yourself in the mirror, kind of thing.
Like, I can see where I can see your next 5 years.
Yeah.
But as I say, there's no point me doing that, because as it's sort of one of those where you need to be, you know,
the decision maker in that.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise you're going to sort of feel like you're being sort of pushed into it or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I can see, as I say, for you, I know there's a lot more flailing around to come.
A lot more what?
Flailing around to come.
Flailing around?
Yeah.
Like stressed?
Flapping and stuff.
Oh no!
Oh yeah. 100%.
When am I going to flap next?
Yeah, you got a lot of
I'm
flapping.
not even over this flap.
Oh, you got a lot of flapping to go. Yeah, you've got a lot of flapping. But
what, like physical, like in-person clients and shit like that? When shit goes wrong?
No, it's not even when shit goes wrong. I think it's just when you hit the next level.
What's the next level?
Well, you got so many levels. You're literally
it's like a game.
You're literally it is a game. You're literally at level 1. Like, you're fucking.
What's the next level?
You're a baby. Yeah, you're gonna. I think you. Yeah, it's one of those where, you know, I think. But you'll flow with whatever you do. I think you'll fly with that. I think.
Fly.
I think you do.
What's the word you're saying?
Fly. Yeah, you'll do really well with
Thanks
whatever
so
you
much.
do. Yeah, because you've just got that. But as I say, it's just if you let your confidence.
Yeah.
That's
my confidence is the thing that stops me from doing a lot of things in life.
I think that's the one thing, is you need to, like, the confidence will come, and then as I say, from there it's easy. Because you've got the ability. You've got the ability of 10 people. You can do whatever you want to do. As I say, it's just, you just don't let yourself take the risks as much. As I say, with stuff, as I say, with the confidence side of things.
Yes.
Not.
I agree with that side, but this person, I don't agree with what he was saying.
No, I don't agree with, like, in life. I'm talking about in stuff that you, like, with confidence. When it comes down to confidence, that's when I see that I'm like, you've not pushed as hard as you, and not like worked as hard. I'm talking about, like, you're at a line and you've got to decide whether you push that little bit harder or whether you just go, do you know what, this is what I know I can do.
Yeah, it's the safe thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That's what he said. He says I should take the safe route.
But
don't agree with him.
No, but I'm not saying it about everything. I'm just.
Yeah, this man was talking about, like, my life as a whole, and that I wasn't happy about.
No. In terms of you as a person, I think you're going to look. But the thing is, like, what people don't realise is you have to grow as a person first. Like, it doesn't all come at once.
Yeah.
Like, you have to grow as a person first. You have to make it click as you first, and then everything else sort of flows with it. Like, if you tried being overly confident at work, but you weren't still that confident person, there's going to be cracks in it, kind of thing, and everyone can see through them. Like, So you have to do it. Like, I had to sort myself out before I could get into a position where I was in a position like now.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't do this in the position I was in 2 years ago.
Yeah.
With myself. So like, you have to do it first. But so like, as I say, it's one of those where it's not like you are. There's no rush for it. It's just one of those, as I say, you can just see those types of things. As I say, you're not with life, no, but with work, in terms of if I said do something on your own, I would get that safety, yeah. Because as I say, you know, with what you said earlier, you feel like it's mine. Well, no, I see it as it's ours.
Because I think you bring a lot more to the table than I can.
No, but I feel like you bring the same. I feel like it's equal. You know, and that's the thing.
No,
because
it's at least 70-30.
No, I see it as completely equal, and that works well for me. You know, that's why I did it, because I was there. Like, at the end of the day, it's something for both of us. You know? And I say, if I wanted to, I could have literally just employed someone random to just do all the jobs that I need them to do, and it could have just been 100% me, and I could have just paid a salary.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, we can do it. This is actually something that we can do together, make it work, kind of thing. But as I say, it's sort of one of those where, you have to get over that bridge of like, this is mine as well.
Yeah.
You know? So as I say, even if you want to call it 70-30, that 30%, you're still entitled to fuck up in that 30%.
Yeah, true.
Even if it was fucking 98.2.
Yeah.
That 2%, I still need
2%.
fucking. It's still 2%.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. Like with, I didn't actually get labelled as a director until October last year, and I've been running the business
What the
for
fuck?
8 months at that point.
Yeah.
Like, and I've been in the business 9 years or whatever, and I still wasn't a director, but I fucking acted like I was.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Exactly, and then exactly, and you do, and that's the thing. So like, that's the only thing I would say about you.
It's my confidence.
Yeah. Other than that, you're exactly, let's say, for 21, just turned 21. You're a lot further ahead than a lot of people.
Hopefully.
A lot further ahead, and you've done a lot more. Not many people have spent a year total in America. Do you know what I mean?
I think I've done the best of both worlds at the moment. Like, I'm very happy in terms of how much social life I've had and work life, uni life balance.
Yeah. And it'll be a bit easier because we'll have to talk about uni soon. It'll be a bit easier.
Okay, we done?
Yeah, I think so. 2.5 hours
It's been
later.
very long. Well, thanks for watching. This is going to be a pain in my bottom to edit.
There's maybe 2 episodes.
It's maybe.
I think
So if we're wearing the same outfit in just the next 2 episodes, that is why, because we might cut this down.
Yeah, 'cause
We started on bucket list and we really transferred to a therapy session.
I think it could be. I think it should be 2 episodes.
Really?
I think it should be 2 episodes. Otherwise, it's like a 2-hour episode, and I think like no one even watches an hour one. So I think then we'd have to do next week's.
True.
But yeah, so we will be wearing the same clothes for next week, but we're not dirty. It's the same day.
I don't like doing that.
Well, we can see. We see how much content you get, but I think you get 2 hours.
Definitely.
You've got to watch all this back tomorrow.
I know. Well, I've been thinking about it this whole time.
Yeah.
Well, if you enjoyed, please like, follow, do all that good stuff. And we've probably already seen you next week.
Yeah.
So we'll see you the week after.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, golden.
Bye.
Bye.